Good morning and welcome to Calhoun Community College. I'm Jimmy Hodges. I'm the interim president here at Calhoun, and we are so honored and so proud to have each and every one of you here today. I think we have a great program prepared for you, and we appreciate you and your service, and we want to honor and recognize you today. Thank you very much.
Colors. Halt. Freeze and arms. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed heaven's twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Colors turn. Arch. Color guard. Halt. Order. Colors. Out the trail. Arch.
Good morning. My name is Karen Chalkley. I'm a faculty member here at Calhoun Community College. I am program director of the dental assisting program, and I'm also a U.S. Army veteran. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment to recognize another special guest in our audience, Dr. Randy Cross. Dr. Cross has been the Master of Ceremonies for Calhoun's Veterans Day program for a very long time. So I would like to say to you, Dr. Cross, even though our paths have not crossed personally, upon talking to your colleagues, I don't know of any other faculty member who is held in as high as regard as you. Thank you for your service to Calhoun, to your students, and to the community. but most of all, because you are also a fellow veteran, thank you for your service. Our first guest speaker is Miss Lisa Berry. Lisa is originally from Manassas, Virginia. Miss Berry joined the United States Army in 1986. While in the military, she met her husband, who is from Arab, Alabama. Lisa has 2 boys that are 24 and 28, and she is currently in her first semester at Calhoun, where she is working on her prerequisites to apply to Calhoun's physical therapy assistant program. Please welcome Miss Lisa Berry.
Good morning. And to all the veterans and active duty present, I would like to thank you for your service and sacrifice. I share in the pride you feel in being able to say that we serve the greatest military in the world. Today, I want to talk to you about what serving in the military means. Being in the military means you sacrifice a number of years of your life for the privilege of obeying orders for those higher up than you. It means doing endless push-ups, set-ups, and running way too many miles for way too long. It also means doing guard duty, kitchen duty, and going to the range more times than not in the cold and the rain, and marching there uphill both ways. But no, seriously, it means being willing to serve and fight and sometimes even die for your country. It means being separated from family, friends, and loved ones. It means giving up control of your life and trusting others with it. It means helping your buddies finish the mission. It means you take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Since there's no draft, it means you voluntarily sign up for this. Why would you or anyone do that? Maybe it was a desire to serve your country or to do something new. Maybe you signed up for the benefits, or even like I did, to get away from home and the rules of mom and dad. Whatever the reason, no matter what you know and expected, I can tell you that's not what you got, and that's not what you get today. Let me tell you what it means to me. It made me grow up. You're thrown to drill sergeants that love to scream and yell, and they push you to your limits, and then they'll challenge you. I was so scared of heights, I wouldn't even look over the rail at the mall. So in basic training, when they said it's time for the rope ladder course, but it's optional, I was like, no thank you. Well, guess what? I did it. I had a drill sergeant that helped and encouraged me all along the way. Not only did I complete the rope ladders, and then I climbed up another 3 or 4 stories, I rappelled back down. I left the field that day with a sense of pride and accomplishment in myself, and that was just the first of many. Before I left basic training, I had rappelled, thrown live hand grenades, and could shoot 36 out of 40. Not bad for a country girl from Virginia. They considered me a sharpshooter, and I had never even picked up a weapon. Then I went on to AIT, and I came out a tactical satellite microwave systems operator, and I went on to my first duty station. I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I worked with the military intelligence, which we were a live mission and worked for the Pentagon. We provided daily data on the safety of the United States. Next, I went to Korea. There's such a different world there than what we know here, and I learned so much. The feeling of accomplishment and knowing I could do anything helped me prepare me for my life. I ended up raising my 2 sons on my own and facing all of life's trials, knowing I could do anything if I applied myself. The military taught me that. Now at the age of 52, I decided to try something else, to go to college for the first time. It's been over 30 years since I've been to school, and boy, have things changed. I didn't know the first thing about registering, financial aid, or any of those things. The military helped me figure it all out, and they're still here in my life when I need to reach out for help. I've learned so much already this semester. I didn't even know how to use a laptop because I had only used PCs. And what the heck was Quizlet? Who knew I could write an essay on the virtual reality used in training for a bulldozer in English, or that psychology could be fun and learn so much about the body in A&P. Then I was unsure of how the students would take having someone as old or older than their parents in their class, and was amazed at how well we get along. I love my professors and my classmates here at Calhoun. Those years in the military taught me I can do whatever I want. And in the Army, we have a saying, be all that you can be. And I try to honor that saying, and I encourage you. Maybe the military isn't something that you're interested in, but take something away from today and believe in yourself and believe that you can do anything that you want to. Be all that you can be. Thank you, Calhoun, for choosing to honor our veterans today and showing your support for those heroes past and present.
Our keynote speaker is Major Randall Knight. Major Knight started his military career in the active Army and later transitioned into the Alabama National Guard, where he serves as the Group Fire Support Officer with the 20th Special Forces Group in Birmingham. During his active service, Major Knight was a part of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. When he isn't fulfilling his National Guard commitment, he works as a defense contractor on Redstone Arsenal. Besides this distinguished list of awards and military decorations, Major Knight holds a bachelor's degree in law and master's of business administration. He and his wife, Rebecca, reside in Madison with their 2 children, Carter and Hannah. Please welcome Major Randall Knight.
Thank you, Lisa, for your great remarks there. That was really great sharing your personal experiences. Good morning, Dr. Cross, Dr. Hodges, Mr. Byrd, Ms. Chalkley, Chief Master Sergeant Clark, faculty, students, and fellow veterans in attendance today. It's been quite some time since I've had the opportunity to speak in front of a large audience. You know, most of my public speaking skills are reserved for a small group of 10-year-old travel baseball players, and my tone probably quite isn't as pleasant as I hope is received today. I want to express what an honor it is to speak with you all on a day that we honor so many Americans across our country and one that I hold so dear. Tomorrow will mark the 95th anniversary of what was formerly known as Armistice Day, a day that originally honored the veterans of World War I. However, in 1954, this holiday became known as Veterans Day, a day in which we honor all service members, both actively serving and retired, for their service to this great nation and their commitment to defend the American way of life. For the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you my thoughts on what makes our veterans unique and the challenges they face, and the hopes that we continue to heed President Calvin Coolidge's warning when he said, "A nation which forgets its defenders will itself be forgotten." What I found makes serving in the armed forces so special and so unique are the variety of backgrounds that my fellow servicemen and women who have voluntarily raised their right hand to support and defend the Constitution come from. I've had the incredible privilege of leading soldiers across our country, a former Golden Gloves boxer from the Bronx, a 36-year-old former school teacher from South Carolina, a current Disney animator from LA, and many others with their own different life experiences. Hearing their personal stories and perspectives on life through conversations and fellowship were invaluable to me as a leader and something that I treasure. What you also find with each individual soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, or Coast Guardsman is that each carry a different drive or motivation for why they chose the path of selfless service to this country. Some veterans join because he or she is looking to get out of a small town or an adventure. Or maybe their family has a long tradition of service and they're simply continuing a military lineage. Or maybe they feel a patriotic call to service and have a desire to take advantage of post-high school educational benefits. Whatever their rationale may be, and from whatever walk of life they come from, one thing remains common and true. Each veteran was and must be prepared to confront grave danger to defend the safety and security of the American people, even at the risk of their own life. Accordingly, some of my most difficult times and greatest accomplishments I've had in my life occurred while serving in uniform. Along my journey, I've lost friends and classmates from West Point, and I've struggled at times to find closure with these events. Equally impactful, however, was leading soldiers safely back from 2 combat deployments. This accomplishment is something I'll forever be grateful to God for to get the honor to do, and ranks above any awards, medals, or personal achievements I've been presented with. But it was through these moments of shared sacrifices and very challenging endeavors that eternal bonds formed that will last a lifetime. You see, what I found out during these times of strife, during these times of training, or on deployments far away from family, is no one cares who your political affiliation is with. No one cares what religious views you hold or what stance you take on the latest headline. In selfless service, there is a mutual respect, genuine concern, and an unbreakable trust for each other that I feel stands alone from any other profession. At the end of the day, we want to all accomplish our mission and take care of one another to the best of our ability. During this post-9/11 generation of conflict, we've all seen or heard of the amazing acts of heroism, of sacrifice, and sadly the enduring pain that some veterans and their families face after returning from the battlefields and who are faced with enduring scars that aren't always visible from the outside. PTSD and other forms of mental illness that have plagued the veteran community are very real and must be addressed. I remember returning home from my first deployment in November of 2006. My wife and I were living in a modest 2-bedroom apartment in Clarksville, Tennessee. We'd just finished eating dinner together, and she started cleaning the dishes while I was at the table. The sink was about 8 or 10 feet from the table, and unbeknownst to me, she turns the disposal on, and it makes this really loud noise. No sooner than I heard the noise, I leaped from my chair and tackled her to the floor. We laugh about this now, but this was an instinctual reaction to what my tour in Iraq was often like. We would get rocketed and mortared almost daily on the forward operating base I was stationed at, forcing us to bunker down in place. I'd personally been in 3 IED attacks on my vehicle alone, and tragically, during our deployment, 2 separate IED attacks claimed the lives of 2 soldiers in my company. I share this story with you not to bring attention to myself, but to bring light to the fact that thousands of other soldiers experienced even greater trauma, and we have an obligation to try to help those survivors overcome any physical or psychological obstacles they face transitioning out of service. Fortunately for veterans, there are avenues and resources available to help heal these scars. As part of the VA, the National Center for PTSD, along with Military One Source and Give an Hour, are just a few of the many, many different organizations that are dedicated to helping veterans combat their mental health struggles. From my own personal experience, transitioning from active duty to civilian life was probably the most challenging and difficult thing I've ever done. For over 8 months, I was unemployed, and the psychological toll that took on me was greater than any financial toll could ever have. My faith and my perseverance allowed me to overcome this trying time in my life, and my hope is that my story is just an outlier and not the norm. We need to all acknowledge that this period of life transition is a time where many veterans can slip into dark places and easily get discouraged. Providing them opportunities to use their different skill sets is something I eagerly implore businesses to continue to support. Fortunately, here in the Tennessee Valley, there are organizations that assist veterans during these periods of life transitions. Still Serving Vets, Operation Stand Down, and the Semper Fi Foundation provide tremendous services to our veterans in our community, and we are honored to have them. I hope I've shed a little light today on who it is that we're honoring, their uniqueness, and the challenges that nearly 20 years of persistent conflict has brought about. These servicemen and women come from all walks of life with their own unique beliefs and personal motivations for serving, but yet all are united to preserve liberty and defend our way of life. In carrying out this valiant charge, some veterans now face internal battles they must cope with and overcome. Each of us can support those who bear the physical, emotional, and psychological scars of war. The organization DAV, or Disabled American Veterans, says it's important we get to know them and ensure that they know that we've got their back, especially during these times of social distancing. Sometimes just sitting down to engage with veterans or their family member to talk can go a long way. Call, email, reach out online. No matter how, keep connecting. To our veterans, stay engaged. You have a purpose in this world, and I would argue a duty to live your life full for your buddies that may no longer be with us. Be resilient and steadfast in all that you do, and know that you have our support if you start to get overwhelmed by your circumstances. As most of you know, we recently lost one of the most influential veterans in a generation when we lost retired General Colin Powell. He once said, "Our sons and daughters must understand that the veterans we remember and honor today are the embodiment of the spirit which has guided our nation for over 200 years. This spirit has and will continue to keep America free. To him and all of our veterans and their families on this day, I say thank you. Thank you for the service, the sacrifices, and devotion you all made and continue to make to our country. Thank you for your time, attentiveness, and the opportunity to speak with you all today. May God bless each of you and all of our men and women serving past and present. Thank you.
Next is the Calhoun Chorale, who is going to do the salute to our veterans.
And tell them they can stand when they hear their song from their service.
Absolutely. Grenville wanted me to invite those who recognize their service song to go ahead and stand once it's being played.
Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high, he in the field artillery. Count out your numbers loud and strong. 2, 3, 4, hut, 2, 3, and wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail and break of day, 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 through our last night on shore, nailed to the foam, until we meet once more. It's wishing you a happy voyage home. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through howling gale and shot and shell to win our victory. Semper Paratus is our guide, our pledge, our motto too. We're always ready, do or die. I, Coast Guard, we fight for you. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, so we can meet our thunder. Down we dive, spouting our flames from under. Off with one terrible roar. We live in flame, we go down in flame, for nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of the United States.
love this next phase of life where you have to wear glasses to actually see something. So in closing today's program, we know we're here to honor all of our veterans. We honor all those who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for freedom. Those men and women who were ordinary people until they heard the call of duty and answered it. They left their families, their homes, their lives, not for the recognition or fame or even the honor we bestow upon them today. They fought to protect our country, to maintain our way of life. It's like people like my husband's grandfather, who is a World War II Air Force POW. Chief Master Sergeant Bonneker was a tail gunner on a B-17, and he can clearly tell you all about the day where on April 6, 1945, his plane collided with another B-17 on the same bombing mission in Germany. He was later captured by the Germans. As we honor our veterans today, tomorrow, and every day after, let us also salute those who are currently fighting for our freedom. The only thing that the war on terrorism has helped us all do is to realize how truly unique the American way of life is. The freedom we enjoy is extremely special, and that is why we must defend it. So now is the time to not only honor those who have fought or are fighting for our freedom, it is also the time for each of us to take part in protecting it. The defense of freedom is not just for those in the military. Each of us shares that duty and responsibility. We don't have to join the Army or the Navy or any other organization of defense to actively defend our way of life. We can protect our freedom simply by maintaining it here in America. If we want to preserve our freedoms, we must put them into action. For example, by voting in elections and fighting for social injustice. We must also ensure that everyone feels the benefits of freedom. And we can do that by volunteering in our communities and teaching our children, most importantly, what it really means to be an American. Veterans Day isn't just for veterans, it's a day for all Americans. It's a day to remember why they were fighting, and a day for all of us to begin our journey of protecting our freedom and the freedom of many future generations. God bless you all for being here. God bless our veterans, and God bless America. Let us walk toward tomorrow still honoring them by living in the freedom they protected. Before we end, there are a few people that we would like to thank. Dr. Jimmy Hodges, Major Randall Knight, Command Sergeant Major Ellis Clark, who is the instructor for Bob Jones High School Air Force JR2C, Mr. Mitchell Bird, PFC Lisa Berry, Student Services, Public Relations, Institutional Advancement, Printing Services, CETV, Student Financial Services, Mr. Granville Oldham and the Calhoun Corral, Mr. Newt Johnson, Maintenance Staff, and Mr. Jenkins of the Coca-Cola Bottling Company. We do ask you to fill out an evaluation before leaving. There are paper versions available, or you can scan the QR code with your camera and fill out the evaluation on your phone. Thank you all for coming, and have a great day. There is a reception out in the lobby.